In what way does your music promotional package use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of existing music video / promotional packages?
To start off, we researched the conventions of music video. They were the range of shots used, the amount of camera movement, the mise-en-scene within the music video, and the cuts between scenes. Our video does use all of these, so they do conform to the music videos, but we've used them in a certain way that they develop existing conventions so that they suit our music video better.
We also feel that we challenge a lot of conventions as well, just to make it more appropriate for our target audience, I guess.
In terms of the range of shots we used, we do use conventional ones like close-ups, mid-shots, extreme long shots to help portray the vocalist, but also the narrative of the story.
Oh yeah, the panning established a shot of the car moving around a roundabout, as like this following the low angle shot of the car, making it look bigger and better, and just reinforcing that like the make and model of the car, I guess. Then this followed by the bokeh effect, so the little lights that have kind of been inspired by Touch Sensitive. We feel that we challenged the conventions of the traditional bokeh effect because it's usually used on its own as its own like individual clip, whereas we've used it as like several overlays. Yet it kind of comes up throughout the whole video, doesn't it? Like it's kind of like the backbone. It kind of makes it like the backbone of the video, and like all the clips have been edited around that, around like a solid loop of the bokeh effect. But then like initially we've got it as, because obviously when Tyler filmed it, it was really shaky, and then like post-production editing we've managed to stabilize it as the beat drops, just to make it like kind of zoom in a little bit, and then it just, I think it just looks a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah. So another thing that challenges the conventions of a typical music video, especially for house, is our narrative. Normally for this genre, videos are about partying or just generally happy, whereas ours is more of an emotional story where the actor's trying to clear his head after an emotional breakup. To start, these are portrayed through like close-up shots of the mirrors, where you can see the reflection of the driver.
Then like that changes into like the 3 different clips, but all like over together. So you obviously got the bokeh effect, and then you've got the base layer of the car driver, and then you've got Tyler on the rotating chair as he spins. So like we've got 3 different shots in one, which I feel really like it introduces a narrative, it shows you the vocalist, and obviously the bokeh effect just re-emphasises like the enigma codes of like going out and partying, which are associated with like the bright lights. Yeah, and all that within a minute of the video really sets like the authenticity of it, I guess.
One thing that does conform to normal conventions is the use of a close-up for the vocalist, but where we've taken it and developed it for our own music videos, that we've, rather than just have a plain close-up, we have him on a rotating chair. We thought this was just a cool addition to our music video that we thought would allow for all angles and aspects of our vocalist to be seen, so that our audience can really immerse themselves within the star quality of the vocalist. Another conventional shot is a mid-shot, but again we've developed it by using a projector to overlay a time-lapse of a street. Again we used, because the green screen, which we were initially meant to use, was too difficult. So our teacher decided to, told us to use this method, which we thought was a lot more effective.
Yeah, well he just said that with a green screen you're going to have the green haze around it, and it's a lot of work for something that may or may not work, or may not look as professional as what we're hoping for. So obviously like the projector we felt would be a more effective way of like portraying what we're trying to portray. Then within the shot as well we've got the use of Gaussian blur as well, just to really re-emphasise that sometimes in life paths aren't clear, so you just got to stick at it. Then this, like we've used a fade-in transition on this into another rotating shot of Tyler whilst he lip syncs. Like this is again unconventional because we've got the transition of the mid shot as well as Tyler as he rotates. So I feel like 2 different perspectives has like a hidden enigma code of like everything in life has 2 meanings, which we feel like that's really effective. The way that it's so subliminal that you wouldn't really notice it unless you were looking for it. This followed by an extreme close-up of the driver's face, i.e. my face and my emotions whilst I'm driving, really sets the tone and the emotions of what's going to follow. So the black and white overlay really just develops the meaning to the audience that just develops that they know that it's going to be dark times in the narrative, and we just felt that would be like a really clear way of showing.
In the beginning of our narrative as well, our female actor Jojo is wearing a black shirt whilst Harry is wearing a white shirt, which shows that the breakup was Jojo did something wrong to Harry because Harry was portrayed as innocent and pure due to the white. But then as we progress through the music video into the other scenes of the narrative, it's both of them wearing white, because it's this almost idea that Harry, even though she's wronged him, she still feels that she is the love of his life and is innocent and pure.
Which is kind of portrayed through which is why we've used whites so much in costumes, just because it really re-emphasises how innocent we both are and how innocently in love we are. Yet she's wearing black in the first scene to kind of change that, I guess.
To signify that she has done wrong.
Just to signify that she has actually done wrong. Yeah.
Another convention of a music video is what sort of music video it is. Ours does conform to the normal conventions because it does illustrate and amplify the lyrics of the song. An example being when the lyrics sing "Hold on," Harry is gripping the steering wheel. Which I guess can be almost related to that Harry's trying to hold on to his relationship as best possible.
Or I'm trying to hold on to the good memories and trying to get rid of the bad ones. Yeah, there's just a lot of different meanings behind that, but we felt that gripping the steering wheel would really represent that. That would really represent the lyrics, because obviously it's said 3 times as well. So we felt that just a shot by itself would be enough to just show that.
We amplified the lyrics a bit later on, where we used one clip of the 2 actors holding hands, but then as the lyrics sing "Take It Back in Time," we use the same clip but reversed it, as though you're almost wanting to literally take it back in time to when Jojo hadn't wronged Harry and they were much happier.
So with the Bokeh effect, we feel that it really aids the transitions between clips whilst enhancing Tyler's star image. So when we've got an image of him, we've got the Bokeh effect on him. So it's almost like a lens, like an intentional lens flare. So it really enhances the idea of clubs and just what our target audience, what our demographics can be doing in their spare time. Conventionally, where you'd see house music is obviously in clubs or house parties or just partying in general. So we felt that, and the lights really signified. So disco lights and what are those flashy ones called? Strobe lights. Yeah, that's the one. So from Tyler having the overlay to him, we've got a Ken Burns into his face, which really really emphasises his star image. So it really shows off his features, as well as the projector's really bright at that point in time. So again, it really defines his face. And then obviously that fades out onto a black screen, and then it on beat cuts to me and Joanna holding hands.
So one way that our music video develops conventions is through taking a convention from a film and using it in our music video. This is the ability to direct the audience's attention and viewing to a certain area. This is most notable in where we use a Ken Burns crop to really zoom in on Harry and Joanna holding hands, which then the second clip fades in within the hands of them 2 walking along the bank, which is an extreme close-up,
extreme
long shot.
Yes. So we're both wearing white in this shot, which really, again, signifies a pure relationship, and how at that point in time she's innocent, and how I like see her as innocent, which I guess it increases her desirability. So then in the shot following that, we've got like a point of view shot from me looking at her as her hair flails in the wind, which just like again increases her desirability for her having like long and natural hair, which is obviously a desirable factor for a typical woman.
This is conventional music video because, as pointed out by Andrew Goodwin in his 7-point theory, women are almost sexualized in music videos, but we challenge ours because rather than have her naked or something like that, she's still fully clothed, she still has this innocence about her, but still is desirable to both men, and is an aspirational target for women because she has the long natural hair.
It just emphasises that she's not being derogated, as a lot of women are in music videos nowadays. So like in a conventional, I don't know, rap video, you've got it all about like drugs, money, cars and women, and the women are always either half naked or dancing like erotically, whereas we felt that that wasn't really appropriate for our target audience, our demographic, or we didn't feel like it was appropriate for viewership either. Within the slow motion shot as well, we've got we've used a dream filter, which just highlights all the whites and just brings out all the shadows. So obviously her wearing a white top, it really brings out the reflection of light. This, as well as her facial features, are really like the light really bounces off them, just to really create it creates a star image for her, as well as the star image created like around Tyler whilst he's lip syncing.
Also within our music video, we still have this idea of the male gaze and the use of Joanna's figure through a close-up pan down her arm, which again does highlight her figure. But again, we challenge it and develop it by still keeping her dressed in the white clothes, keeping her innocence, but then still having the idea of the male gaze.
So this is like the panning down her arm is then broken up by a shot of Tyler leaning against a graffitied wall. We just felt that this really enhanced his star image and just showed that he's an unrefined star. And then within this shot as well, we've got him singing about the love being like a storm, panning down, so it pans down to halfway down her arm, and then it cuts to Tyler being leaning up against the wall and it being really dark and only being able to see the natural light, and then it cutting back to the bright lights. We just felt that it really reinforced that love is like a storm in the lyrics.
This idea of an unrefined star quality is fairly conventional within music videos because most music artists are quite bad.
Following this, we've got an over-the-shoulder shot of me driving, showing the speedo, and we've done this on purpose because it shows that I'm doing the speed limit. So I'm doing 70 miles an hour on the dual carriageway, because it shows that during being reckless isn't a desirable quality anymore, isn't a desired attribute. So it isn't something that women find attractive anymore. And we just felt that using that would really, I guess, be a role model for people within our demographic, so that they're not trying to be anything they're not, and they're not putting other people's lives at risk, just trying to please other people. Yeah, this challenges previous conventions, because in other music videos we've seen that before. In rap videos, they're driving really fast and driving erratically, and we just don't feel that it's appropriate for any viewership as such, because it is such a widely known house music song.
We felt we didn't want to glamorize criminality or anything like that.
We just didn't think it was appropriate.
One way which our music video is very conventional is all of our shots of the vocalist. This is because they are all lip syncing, which helps to improve the music video's authenticity and the professionalism of it.
This is obviously matching conventions, because all music videos really glamorize the artist and really like reinforce how they look. But then we also felt that like challenging these conventions would be just to not include the artist in the narrative. So a lot of other videos, you find that the vocalist is actually like within the narrative. So Tyler would be playing my part in the breakup and stuff, and I wouldn't be involved at all. But we just felt that it doesn't really match the idea that we're going for. Like following this in the song, we've got like an instrumental type bit. So this is obviously indicated by a slow motion shot of the BMW driver in around a corner with the flashing street lights. We just felt that really matched the tempo. So like the slowing of the tempo in the song really was shown through that, and then this followed by the parallax image.
We thought the use of the parallax image that was created by Harry on Photoshop was just a really significant way to almost summarise the narrative of our story. We had, through just the simple pictures, we could see that the two actors were together at the beginning, and then by the end of the clip they were separate and had very different thoughts of each other. This is particularly unconventional with music videos because normally the narrative stops at the end, whereas ours, we almost summarise it 3/4 of the way through. We just thought that it was an effective way to reinforce the idea of our narrative, really.
So through the images used as well, it really, I guess like Tyler said, it really summarises the whole narrative in like, I don't know how, I think it's like 12 seconds, but each image really shows what is happening and really portrays what's going on between the two of them. So you can see like through the first few, it's got like they're really happy and they're really coupley and stuff, and then like when it splits to the individual images coming towards the camera, you've got one of us two together looking really happy, and then it cuts to me like scratching my head thinking like, oh, I don't know what to do about this relationship. I don't know if I should do I stay over, don't I stay over, is it the right thing to do, isn't it the right thing to do, and then this followed by one of her, and it just kind of suggests that she's maybe not sure whether it was right for what she did, whether she is actually in the wrong or whether I'm in the wrong or whether they should break up. It just really weighs up both sides of the relationship like through a 12-second parallax, which we feel is really effective, and obviously it's quite an easy thing to recreate, because obviously Tyler found it in, what song was it?
Living Fiction.
Yeah, so he stumbled upon it just by accident really through a YouTube advertisement? Yeah, through a YouTube advertisement, and just listened to the thing the whole way through and watched the music video, and then saw that they had a parallax and saw that it was a really good way to really show a narrative
in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So one of the final shots of the vocalist is me leaning up a fence gate, where we filmed the narrative long shots and stuff of the Harry and Joanna with the BMW in the background. We felt this mid-shot just allowed us to again portray the coolness almost and the star quality of our vocalist, whilst also having the BMW in the background, which really ties them two together, the narrative and the vocalist side of the music video.
Brings them both together, doesn't it?
Yeah. Also, we used a Ken Burns crop to almost direct again the audience's attention towards the front end of the BMW, which allowed us to sort of,
I guess it was like more to the top corner though, wasn't it? So like it kind of does zoom into the front of the BMW, but then it kind of like removes Tyler from the whole equation, which I guess has a lot of like connotations behind it, which are obviously left up to audience opinion. But
the use of the Ken Burns crop also helped us to develop another convention of a movie, which is typically unconventional of music videos, which is the rule of thirds, because we had me in the left third and the car in the right third.
Or like the main features of the car in the right third.
Yeah.
And like not much in the middle, which I guess it really like splits the image and kind of like frames it itself. And then obviously you've got like Tyler and then the car behind him, and then like you've got the blank space with the landscape behind it. Like it all just brings a lot together, like brings it, like ties it all together, I guess.
The penultimate shot of the music video is Harry turning off of a roundabout. We used this shot to again imprint more messages into our music video. It was almost suggesting that Harry is, even though through this really difficult time and confusing situation, he's started to find what direction he wants to head in, whether it be to try fix things or to let her go. This is typically quite conventional with a music video because most narratives do have a start, a middle and an end, which ours does too.
Then obviously that followed by the pull focus, or like the final clip, which we've had since day dot. It was like the first thing we recorded. Had the pull focus of me sitting down onto the rock and like gazing upon the city, and then having the pull focus from me to the city. Like it really signifies the end of the narrative, and obviously with it being the end of the song as well, and as the music dies down, we just thought it looked really effective. And obviously that being another convention with having like a concluding narrative shot to show the end of the video. So secondly, we've got our digipack and poster, which both have a lot of conventions in it, but then also kind of challenge some conventions, which we've done on purpose. So firstly, our album poster has, like, we gained a lot of inspiration from ones found on our blogs, more so the Chasing Status one, the Brand New Machine poster, just because it has a lot of dates, and the final date being London O2, like the O2 Arena, it is O2, yeah. So the big O2 stadium, like, there aren't many more venues which are bigger than that, or especially in the UK, which we felt would be more, like, most appropriate to make it bigger on the poster to make it stand out more. And obviously London being at, London the easiest place to get to, whether it be by train, by car, by plane, like you're always going to be able to get there. So we just felt like it was more appropriate to make this one bigger than the others. And obviously with it being the final, like the concluding show, it makes it even that more important and that like more effective.
Other ways our poster conforms to the conventions of usual promotional packages is the way that it does include dates, it does include artists' names and information, it does include information about tickets, such as like where to buy it, on what website and how much, and also ticket release dates. We use these because they're really needed on a music poster in order to give the audience information, in order to boost revenue.
And allow them to go and find out more information if they want to.
Yeah.
So like with the phone number, it gives them like a different, because obviously we've got the phone number, we've got the email address, and we've got the website. So that gives like three different forms, or three different methods of people, like of ways that people can find out more information about this tour. We've only used a few dates, I think. Yeah, we only used like 6 or 7 or 5 or 6 dates. So just to really like make it seem like it's a really important tour and like a desirable tour. So like you need to go to these locations, you need to go and see it at these times. And then the actual image itself is really, it's conventional because it's a picture of Tyler, but then we've really challenged the conventions because it's like cartoonized. Yeah, it just doesn't look like any other poster, which obviously makes it stand out and makes it more eye-catching than other posters, because other posters would just feature the artists themselves or the band, and then maybe a few dates, and then maybe a website of where to gather information. But yeah, ours, we've got Tyler, and then we've got the title, and then we've got all the dates and all the other like vital information at the bottom, with in obviously a different colour, which really like draws attention to them.
So, along with our poster, we used the same image for our front cover of our digipack, without obviously the information. We decided to use this because we felt that it aided with the continuity between all of our media pieces, because we also used the same reds as within the music video of my jumpers, and also the colour of the car.
And the brake lights found in the Bocker as well.
Yeah.
Like, we just felt like the colours, like the three colours of red really just brought it all out.
Our front cover is typically conventional of a normal promotional package because it does include titles.
It emphasises the artist's brand image.
Yeah.
It's like eye-catching. It just has everything that we found in our Digipack Conventions blog post. And we just felt like it really combined all the images into one product. So the reds really stand out from the whites. The album title and the artist really like contrast up like really nicely. And obviously the artist's name's a bit bigger than the Blase Boys Club, just to really draw people's attention to the artist and thinking like, oh, that's Duke Dumont. And obviously the font itself is the same font used within the music video. So as the overlay, so when the car pans around the roundabout and we've got the Duke Dumont Ocean Drive, that's the same font as the Duke Dumont in that. So it really just like brings it all together. Within the actual Digipack itself, we've got on the inside front image, we've got a double exposure of Tyler and long shot, or like just like a landscape image of a road. We thought this was really effective because it shows, it obviously ties with the song itself being Ocean Drive and being like road based and stuff like that. And then we've got the artist himself. And the double exposure really brings out his facial features as well, which obviously enhances his star qualities. And then as inspired by Fatboy Slim and his and his album that I've evaluated on my blog, it shows like the inside cover is a picture of a road again, but in I think it's Nevada. And then underneath the CD it's the same image but just without any effects to it. It hasn't got any colour overlays, it hasn't been altered in any way. So we thought that would be quite effective to use underneath our CD. So this is obviously like a conventional point because it is the same as what we found in other digipacks. And then the rear image is a picture of Tyler as he's walking away from the camera with red writing in the same font style as the front.
So one way that our back cover does conform to the conventions is again what is on it. So the song titles, the copyright information, the actual Duke Dumont logo, and also the Blase Boys Club logo, which has been inverted from black to white to white to black.
Yeah, so we originally found it and it was black, but we felt like it didn't show up on the back page enough. And obviously with the front cover, like all the text being white, we felt that having it in white, like the same as the copyright information as well, we felt that it like really stood out more. And the Duke Dumont and Blase Boys Club are in like the bottom left corner, which and not having them big just shows that they are there and like the traditional logos are there, but it's like a different piece of artwork. And then obviously we've got barcodes, and it's got like a house style, so it has a traditional colour palette of like reds and dark reds and deep reds. We just felt like the reds would really bring it all together. This followed by obviously previously mentioned the copyright information and the record label.
Also the image we used was the same location as the graffitied walled vocalist shot, which again aids the continuity between all of our pieces of media. The reason we decided to develop and challenge the forms of conventions that already exist was to see if they could create a more effective feel to our music video, which we feel is definitely the case.
And has been achieved.